All right, welcome back. You're still watching NetBank Business Watch. As Eswatini faces rising electricity tariffs, up by 10.14% for households in the past year, many are turning to solar power for a sustainable, cost-effective alternative. Now, with government aiming for a 50% renewable energy mix, solar adoption is on the rise, and importantly so, from homes to businesses and even in rural communities like those served by the Eswatini solar PV plant. Joining me today, Zamangwane Dlamini, once again, Head of Branch Networks at NetBank, to discuss NetBank solar financing solutions that are helping residents and businesses embrace this important shift, ensuring that not only savings, you're not only making savings, or rather, but it is a step towards energy independence as well as sustainability. Zama, welcome to the program. I think it's a topical conversation as we, transition from what we know today to what is important going forward. An important conversation. Let's talk about, this Eswatini government ambitious goal in reaching 50% renewable energy mix. And, everyone is embracing that, but it comes with its own challenges. We need to be able to, adapt to everything, largely through the Energy Master Plan and National Energy Policy. In your view, and this is NetBank's view, by the way, how are these policies influencing solar adoption across the country?
Afternoon, Nguni, and thank you again for having us. Of course, it is a topical issue, as you're mentioning, the cost of electricity and the perpetual request for increases through our service provider, current utility service provider in EEC through ESERA, is seeing the cost and the income of the customer really shrinking due to the cost of living rising. Yeah. But we are seeing, like you're saying, that's the government is also quite conscious of the future of energy in the country. And as a result, you're quite right. They have articulated a very pronounced and strong, you would say ambitious target to have a 50% mix within the renewable energy space. And this, of course, is outlined in their Energy Master Plan and the National Energy Policy as it stands. Of course, we are quite confident of this, and this commitment that the government is also showing is quite aligned to the aspirations of the bank in the adoption of solar, of course, across all the segments, and also just the opportunity to have customers interact with different requirements and minimize their independence or rather their dependence on the national grid.
Yeah. Speaking on, the customers minimizing their dependence, we are indeed seeing more households installing PV solar panels to reduce dependence on the national grid. Talk to me about how you think this trend is going to impact, say, the residential energy landscape, especially with the ongoing tariff increase.
Yeah, we do foresee the residential and commercial buildings taking up solar solutions, right, being your PV solar panels and any and all other related devices that they may require. Of course, this is to build long-term sustenance in terms of the energy availability. Yeah. Of course, we are also anticipating power cuts in terms of the actual now, from a national perspective, we have reliance in terms of where the country is actually procuring its energy. And further to that, once we are sort of cut off or rationed, that immediately introduces load shedding schedules in our environments, notwithstanding the fact that we are already in an environment where we're in the summertime, or rather we have a volatile climate arrangement at the moment. Yeah. It's cold, it's hot, it's rainy, and power cuts can't be foreseen because of thunderstorms and the weather patterns that we have seen. So we do believe that households will certainly be taking these up, and of course the benefits will be for that sustained connection, sustained electricity power, sustained water heating and continuity. But more than anything, like we said, the topical conversation is actually the cost of electricity today. Yeah. And that cost of electricity today is slowly becoming a barrier to entry, or it's becoming prohibitive in terms of the quality of life of the citizens of Eswatini because of our dependency on electricity. So I do believe that as we are positioned and structured at NetBank with our solar financing solutions, we certainly can provide tailor-made solutions to those particular needs. We anticipate growth in this regard. We anticipate clients taking up these products, business, individuals, and commercial, and we anticipate that they will save. They will make substantial savings. In our last conversation, or a week or 2 weeks ago, we did articulate that there are some substantial savings that the consumer can immediately make and recover within a year's period as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you know what? This conversation, very relevant now more than ever, because the past 2.5 weeks we have seen what you have alluded to with regards to power cuts as a result of the very, very confused weather patterns, but also the the proposed hikes when it comes to our electricity tariffs. Everything that you have spoken about really just ties well with this solution that Nedbank is then offering. Let's talk about businesses now, because two, they are, turning to solar power for cost savings and energy reliability. Can you share some, say, insights into, how commercial and industrial sectors are adopting solar and what impact it has on their operations?
Okay, as you've mentioned, the most obvious ones and the prominent ones are the operational efficiencies that the customers will derive, meaning in your business operations, you will significantly reduce your expenses that relate to this power generation in its nature. However, like you're saying, it also ensures the reliability, meaning there is continuous business, and the business operations are really not hampered by this erratic weather patterns or by power cuts in need. So this means that the sustenance of the business itself remains in place. We have seen, though, that EEC has developed some embedded requirements in terms of those commercial and industrial sectors that would want to actually execute this. So those requirements specify the conditions to apply to process those processes that outline the requirements for businesses and commercial, so that they can become supplemented from the grid in terms of connection. And that's, of course, where they then realize these cost savings that we're mentioning. But you will note that in the operations of a business, typically the human expenses are usually the top lines, your operational expenses, which are also quite significant. So where there's an opportunity to actually work through finding ways to save in those areas, the businesses in turn becomes a bit more profitable because of that balance. Yeah,
the winds of change, right? Winds are shifting, but what I love is that Nedbank's hand is far-reaching. We have seen that you guys are also part of, community projects like the Eswatini solar PV plant, which has obviously brought electricity to rural areas such as Mvundla, significantly enhancing access and quality of life. What role do you see Nedbank playing in supporting, such initiatives?
We've always been close and pronouncing doing good in the communities we live in and that we serve. The actual solar plant at Eswatini was an initiative by EEC, which was completed in 2021. And I think that sets the tone and is actually the foundational, directional in terms of where we're going as a country, premised on what we've spoken about earlier in terms of the policy. However, from a Nedbank perspective, of course, we do want to serve our communities. We encourage the communities, whether they are in stockfields, whether they are in pooling arrangements where they would share the resources, the natural resources, and we are actively in those communities and having participating in those community engagements and meetings with them to appreciate the needs of those communities. We also appreciate that we can probably go even further extend ourselves to assist and serve the communities, which are our clients. We talk about solar generation, we talk about the benefits of the power in terms of sustenance, but we can also appreciate that these tend to go hand in hand with other utilities such as water. Yes. So, of course, in those community meetings, there are vast conversations that are being had and varying conversations that are being had to say, perhaps, did you know that you can power a borehole as well from the solar installation? So we are educating our clients, we are educating communities, we are wanting to make an impact in the communities in which we do business and live in. And we have noted and taken a leaf from the initiative that EEC has done to say, we, as a country, are moving in a step in the right direction, but we are also saying we are positioning ourselves as Nedbank to be available to offer and sell these solutions to our clients and the communities we serve.
It's quite important, you make such a compelling submission there, speaking to, expanding your arms far beyond the norm when we speak about, what a bank offers, offering to the most of basic needs of the people, electricity and water, and the ecosystem as, how it relates to each other, as you pronounced it. But I'm also picking up that we've spoken on, cost savings to energy independence and environmental benefits now. Solar energy offering, obviously, a range of advantages. How do you think these factors, how do you see these factors, shaping the public's attitude towards solar investment?
Okay, yes, you're quite right. The benefits in terms of cost saving to the customer, the immediate benefit that you can see is that it certainly will be offsetting these tariffs that are being proposed, because from an immediate basis, there is a supplementary stream, if I may say so, because you can immediately realize the benefits. Upon your installation of any solar device that you would be financed through by Nedbank, you can actually see those benefits on an immediate basis. And then in terms of reliability, of course, you've removed the dependence from the national grid as far as possible, depending on the structure of what you've installed, whether it's in your home or it's in your commercial business. Again, that's certainly a benefit that we can see on an immediate basis to the customer, and that's what we would position to our customers. And then further to that, with respect to being a green bank, no pun intended, of course, solar has significantly reduced carbon emissions. We are in this erratic weather patterns because of the nature of how we are deriving and making power in the various resources that are being used to generate some. So solar power is actually clean, it's safe for the environment, and it's sustainable. We always say the sun will always be there. So as long as the sun is there, can we capture the energy so that we use it correctly?
All right, Zama. Obviously, I'm realizing that these are such flexible solutions that Nedbank has introduced for solar projects. The consumer at home, that potential customer that is sold to this great offering, speak to them about how they can contact or reach you guys.
Okay. We encourage our customers to interact with us at any nearest branch. In terms of our branch network, we are available to assist and serve our clients there. We are also available on our contact center, which is a help desk. They can call us or they can email helpdesk@nedbank.co.za, or they can call 3278-1999. And or they can also find us on our social media pages. We are on X, formerly known as Twitter, as Nedbank SZ. We are also on LinkedIn, and we are also on Facebook with the same username.
All right. Maybe just for your own urgent needs. Let me reiterate the number. You said 327-81999.
Correct.
327-81999. Save that number. Save that number and make sure that you do contact Nedbank as soon as now. What a great solution, by the way, that Nedbank is offering, right in line with what government, has set as part of their ambitions as well. But it also, like Zama did say, it aligns with some of the Sustainable Development Goals. The Sustainable Development Goal number 7. Let's go for an ad break. We'll be back shortly.